Almost half a year ago, the definitive edition of Black Mesa has been released. And as we here on ESCalation are big fans of Black Mesa Source, as it used to be known, we of course covered it. And what is a pleasant surprise to most people, they didn't stop working, because there's a lot of behind-the-scenes material still to be covered. So half a year after the definitive edition is out, here's a new update, coming with the Xen Museum. The new museum map downloadable from the workshop presents itself as a hub world, from which you can jump into the various levels. Beta content revolving around Half-Life has always enjoyed great popularity, so this update, this expansion, makes sense. In the original Half-Life, Xen was always a bit like the black sheep of the family. Most people really enjoyed Half-Life, but didn't like the ending because, well, even Gabe Newell said that he isn't too happy with Xen and how it came out. Let's leave it at that. Anyways, for that reason, the developers of Black Mesa thought to completely remake Xen, and they did with great success. I personally really enjoyed it, and I think most of you did too. And as many other people, I am always curious how Half-Life looks behind the scenes and how it came to be. So now, with this new museum, you can select various beta versions of the maps and play them for yourself in a very convenient fashion. And yes, they are all cleaned up, so they are not completely broken. They are well playable. Of course, not as well playable as the final game, but this isn't the leaked Half-Life 2 build, okay? So you know what to expect. No clip is your friend, and F6 for quick save as well. The free update takes you to the Biodome Complex, from where you can branch out into various sections, split off into Interloper, the Gonarch's Lair, and Xen. You will find various portals with which you can jump to the levels. Next to the portals is a console with a selection screen where you can select the different stages of development. This provides a very interesting view behind the scenes. You will find various cut elements, new elements, and things you just haven't seen. This is of course something for a very select crowd. Not everyone is into video game development, but since there are so many people who are just crazy about Half-Life beta content, I think a lot of people will enjoy this. I personally do a lot. The cherry on top of all these interesting levels is of course the gallery section in the main room, presenting to you a lot of interesting concept art. Unfortunately, the Source engine doesn't allow for super high resolution textures, but I think you can still get enjoyment out of these. The resolution is well enough. That's already it for this new update. I can just absolutely recommend it. Go check it out. Just be sure to have SV cheats and Impulse 101, because you will run into enemies from time to time, so don't get caught with your pants down. If I could request one additional thing for this add-on, it would be developer commentary. I always find it to be incredibly interesting to get a behind-the-scenes look by the developer themselves. What their process was, what they were thinking, what they were planning, what they tried and what didn't work out and what did work out in the end. With all the Valve games, the developer commentary was by far one of the top features for me. And listening to them, especially as someone who builds levels himself, I always loved listening to the developer commentary. But do you want to know what I also like to listen to? All things Lambda. So, take it away, Mitch.
Hey there, it's me, Mitch from All Things Lambda and Glorious Rigby, and I thought it was a good idea to break into ESCalation's video to bring you my 2 cents on what can kind of be perceived as free DLC for Black Mesa. ESCalation already explained what it is and how to get it, so I won't be going too much into that right now. I'm a sucker for early development content, so when I heard that Crowbar Collective was releasing this pack of early Xen maps, I of course got pretty excited. And when I downloaded and played some of the maps on display here, I was definitely not disappointed. I was especially kind of impressed with how the first Xen map shaped up to become the final art piece that went into the game. It seemed like they had the layout quite down in one of their earliest milestone builds of this map already, only making a few tweaks here and there to some chunks of the level, and a lot of the art direction has changed significantly over time. What I do miss in this map pack though are a couple quality of life features, like development commentary, as ESCalation already mentioned, and maybe a portal at the end of the level or a button in the pause menu to bring me back to the main hub, That would have also been a really nice addition. Using console commands is a frequent occurrence here. All that being said though, I highly recommend you to check this official mod out if you're interested in Xen's development, or just game development in general. You won't always get a chance like this to look behind the scenes in this kind of way. Oh, and Crowbar Collective? Please release an art book with all of this artwork. It could be a loose PDF file in the game files for all I'm concerned, but I really don't think putting these sketches and drawings on the walls as a source engine material file is going to do them quite justice. Even though they look alright, it could always be better. Okay, I'm done. Watch all things Lambda and Glorious Rigby and all that jazz. Back to you, ESCalation.
Alright then, so let's see where you can get all this goodness. Check the link to the workshop in the video description down below. There you can subscribe to the museum with its almost 60 new maps. Or rather, old maps? Well, they're new to us. So definitely go check it out. And if you enjoyed today's video and found it to be informative and interesting, I think you know what I want you to do. Give the video a like, consider subscribing for future content, and maybe even support us on Patreon, as our supporters there got to see this video well in advance. And if you can't get enough of Half-Life, maybe go check out All Things Lambda. These guys produce weekly updates on all things Lambda. And our generous Patreon supporters are Lone Wolf, Zed Gladys, Wrapped in Glass, Cookie, Harrison Steffens, Plasma, Brass Jazz, Tome, Rainbow Flash, Grizzlywer, Strange Module, Tainster, Cop Fighter, Inter, Charles Surrit, Albany Knight, and Sir K. To them and everyone else, thanks for watching. So, see you guys next time. Until then, have a nice day, and as always, goodbye and guten Tag.